It's one of these and that format. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at an N1700 made by Philips, of course, and it's a VCR format. And this has actually been sent in for repair by George. Hi George, hope all is well with you. And it basically doesn't work. I don't know exactly what the issue is. I can see the button for the tape counter resets disappeared somewhere into the ether, but it just doesn't play a tape. George sent me quite a few bits actually for repair, and he actually runs a duplication company, so yeah, that's not looking great either. So the tracking control's not on the slider, but yeah, he replaced a machine that I sold him, and this is the machine that replaced. I think that makes sense. Basically he sent me this one and a 15, I think it was 1512 actually, which has got the from the factory the AV outs. This has got AV outs on it as well, but this has been modified, I believe. I don't think it's original from the factory. Basically I said, well, let's try and get the N1700 going. The 1512, I believe that has got the dreaded lacing motor issue. Has the slightly older mechanism, which is notoriously bad for jamming up. And I'm hoping, I've got a couple of machines actually with that problem. I'm hoping to get them sorted, so that'll be in a future video. But in the meantime, let's have a look at this. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is whip the top off. Let's have a look. Yeah. We'll take it from there. Let's crack on. So undone the two large screws at the back, and let's just see, it should just pull back, but there are two clips each side of the case, and they can be notoriously bad, especially if the machine's being squashed. Oh, that's come free. Oh, that one seems to be broken. Still a bit caught. There we go. So, oh no, the one actually came apart fine, and the lugs are perfect. It's always good to know. So, oh gosh, this is seeing life. So we've got a crack in the board. See that straight away. This is all out of alignment, so that peg has been lost, so we'll have to sort something out about that. Looks like there's a bit of a cable tie down there, just floating about. Oh, it does open. Something weird is going on there, so let's push that down. Don't think that was located properly. Few hairs and bits and pieces, but yeah. Why do I think that doesn't look right? What's gone on there? I could be wrong. It just, to me, that doesn't look right, but maybe it is. I don't know. We will find out in the fullness of time. Okay. So quite a lot of debris in there. I don't know whether the tape counter reset is anywhere handy, but we might be able to sort something out about that as well. It's the 4-digit one on these. Earlier ones had 3 digits. Looks as if it's had a fair bit of oil on it as well. and it is pretty dirty. The all-important guide there looks pretty clean. So yeah, I suppose we ought to power it up. Let's have a quick look at those outputs. Yeah, they've been added later on, haven't they? So we'll have a quick look at that as well. That's bent. Well, that really matters. And yeah, it looks as if at some point it's got OK on it. Somebody swapped that out. Now that crack in the board, I don't think it's going to be a big issue insofar as it looks as if it's just gone through the ground. This is all ground and just into there. It's full record anyway, but yeah, at some point somebody's knocked off the tab to lock play in place. This has the earlier, I'm sure that's the earlier mechanism. Yeah, I'm pretty confident it is actually. 1702.15. So, well, let's power it up and just see what it is doing. Yeah, okay. So, now this one actually has a separate, there were options. And some came with the mains lead hardwired in, and some of them came with a figure of 8 on the back. And this one comes with a figure of 8 on the back. So let's turn it on to see what happens. Oh, clock works. Okay, so remember how you do this. Oh yeah, you push this down, don't you? So, oh, that feels pretty horrible. Yeah, so you see what I mean? That's sort of like just wrong. How is that even there? Somebody must have been pushing blinking hard for that to sort of get bent and out of the way. Yeah, you can see where it's sort of been pushed. So we'll adjust that out the way. I was a bit concerned that I've got nothing. So I suppose, well, let's get that adjusted correctly first of all. Okay. So I guess it's something like that. I'll have to have a look in the manual. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe that's all it's going to take to get that bit working. This panel is actually misaligned as well. See there, it's a telltale that the socket is, you know, all of this is being pushed. Actually, this side could have happened in transit, I suppose. Yeah, more than likely did actually. Although I don't know, how would that get bent like that and the rest of it be fine? I don't know. But we are certainly not Yeah, see, that's fine now. It does look as if it's bent as well. Yeah, so oh gosh. What's gone on there? That is actually rubbing against the audio control head. Which is interesting. Yeah, you see, this still isn't right, but it's bent as well. It's like bent out the way, so that'll have to be straightened. Because that's stopping this from moving. I'm guessing, well, yeah, that's for the eject, I think, isn't it? So it means you can't eject it with it playing. So yeah, I'll have to sort that out. That's probably why that wasn't popping up very well. Yeah, so it stops that from moving when it's in play. So that'll have to be sorted. But just a bit concerned why we've got no power at all. It won't come out of standby. Because doesn't this have to go over? Oh, does that have to be? Oh, yes, I'd forgotten. So I need to go. Yeah, that's not really working. But laces and unlaces, fine. Motor seems to be picking up in speed. Oh dear. Interesting that it speeds up as it ejects, as it unlaces rather. Yeah, we've got a bit of a bearing issue. Which is this. This is very tired. And it's going to need quite a lot of work. So, I'll have a chat with George and we'll take it from there. Let's crack on. George has said yes. So, let's crack on. And you might notice we've got a bit of duplication going on. I've found the panel that I took out of the deck in the last N1700 video we did, actually. It was the machine we started off with that had issues with the drum. It was very high hours, it turned out, and had an incredibly shiny drum, really very worn. This one has a fair bit of wear on it, having said that, but we'll see how we get on. So I just think, well, I'll change the whole panel. No, probably the head servo can is bad anyway, so yeah, this one is I believe is good. From memory, I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I don't think I had to swap it out with the other machine. We've got the capstan as well, tape servo as they call it. can as well, so that's fine. I will do in the future a video just repairing these modules and testing them in a machine. So yeah, that'll be coming up. I've got parts and bits and pieces, I've got chips and all sorts that I've managed to source somewhere. I've probably lost them. But yeah, so let's crack on. Okay, and I think while this is out, there does appear to be a spring missing as well. Oh, it's not missing, it's stretched. So that's interesting. Now I think these connectors are all unique. Just checking on the other panel. Well, there's two that potentially could be, or three actually, that could potentially be all the same. Okay, so I've marked them up. I've marked the plugs on here and put the corresponding marks on the replacement board. It's pretty pointless putting on this board. So I'm cut these. It does look as if it might have been replaced before, because those don't look like, well, they look quite new actually. I wonder what the story is with this board. Then we've got a big connector at the back there. One here. And this might be a bit of a fiddle with that, removing the cans, but then it's cutting the two cable ties, which you can't see more than likely because the board's in the way. Yeah, you see where the board's actually, there's a crack in the panel there as well. Where it's obviously been changed in the past and things have got in the way. So we've got to get the angle right. To get this out, I know that one comes out. I think they both come out. Of course, I might be fighting against the spring because I haven't taken that off yet. But I didn't think you had to take it off yet. That makes sense. I think I have to do it before I take this out. So let's put it back in. Yeah, that was easy. Yeah, there we go. And then, oh, missed brown lead there. And then tapping the top of the head drum. Feed these wires through. Yeah, I'm pretty positive this has been apart before. Like, this board's been out. It's probably not the original board to the machine even. Same part numbers. let's unhook the spring, and we'll hook the new one back in, which I seem to remember can be a bit interesting. So yeah, how much of that you saw, but what I'm tempted to do now, because obviously we've got this strange business going on here with the pinch roller, and it being really very much grinding against the audio control head, so I can't see that it's moved, because there's an adjustment there for it and a big spring here, and then that goes through there. Can't quite see how that's even sort of doing what it's doing. Very weird. I'm gonna have a think about this and just have a prod about, and yeah, once I've worked it out, I will come back. I'll crack on. I've solved the pinch roller issue. Basically this has had a bump, and on the inside of the metal assembly there is actually a little hole just drilled slightly in, and the adjustment screw actually sits in that hole, and it's like that got pushed down. So with a bit of playing about, I mean, you can see it pivoting on it, but yeah, with a little bit of sort of careful maneuvering, I managed to get that free. So that's a good start. I don't know why, to my mind, it looks as if it's a bit far over this way, but no, I think that is right. It's got quite a mucky capstan, but yeah, so that's definitely a step forward. I think I'm going to get out my other deck as well, and maybe steal this. So yeah, just get that replaced, maybe, or maybe I'll try and straighten it. Oh, we'll see. I might just compare it. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Let's crack on. The board swapped over. It's a bit of a battle. Not helped by me actually putting this the wrong side. I tried to put this sort of with these other cables, and it doesn't go there at all. It actually goes from where it comes up through the deck, up here, and then round. So like so. I can't quite see under there. So you can see the grey of it there. So yeah, all quite nicely routed, put cable ties on. Looks a bit of a nest there, but it's done in such a way that it shouldn't fail the mechanism. It's just quite difficult to really get to sit right once you've pulled it apart. All my marks, hopefully they're correct. So that's all good. Managed to get the spring on. The spring was actually really easy to get on. It's much easier to get on than get off. I assume it goes there. There is a hole sort of the other side there. I wondered if it went at an angle, but the other one was there. So I thought, well, I'll put it there. But I think it probably does go in that little hole and sort of goes at an angle towards it. But yeah, so that's good. It does seem a little bit further forward. I don't know whether that'll really make a lot of difference, except for when I get the I've ordered the plastic fastenings for here. Hopefully they're the right size. Got them from AliExpress. If they are, I'll put a link. Also straightened these. Very, very easy to straighten, to be honest. It does look as if it's had a whack at some point, and just push these over. Sort of bent from down here somewhere. But it's sort of straightened up really nicely. I have to work out why this board is sort of pushed over, for what it's worth. Again, I think it's had a whack on this side or something, but I'll fathom that out. Sort of odd screws going on there as well, but it does look, well, you can see there's a warp line there. So yeah, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put new belts on it before I test it. I probably will do the modification as well. I just get all that done, and then we can sort everything else out, then all the other issues that I'm sure it's going to have. But you know, pleased I sorted out that pinch rod. I must remember that. I've had that before, so I must remember that it's got to go in that little dent on the metal sort of part of the mechanism. So yeah, let's get this on its side and get those belts changed. Let's get these belts changed, and immediately I notice there are some screws in here. So obviously the plastic tabs have been broken at some point. They're a little bit large actually for the actually a little bit large for the holes of the one is. The other one's fine. I might see if I can find one a bit more like that one. So, no, I don't know. The tab's still there. They're just a little bit mangled, but they are still there. I suppose better safe than sorry. That's fine. Power supply is unmolested, which is nice. And push the two metal tabs, slide this open, and then we've got the joy of changing the belts. And I have to say the belts are good. Well, the head drum belt seems very good, but capstan belt feels stretched. So what I'm going to do is just turn this around a bit more, just so I can work on it a bit easier. And yeah, let's get you into a bit better position maybe as well. So interestingly, these screws aren't original. It's got some posi headed screws, and the middle one's missing as well. So yeah, we'll probably replace that for what it's worth. But get these slackened off, and then we can. And I think that one. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, I've already slapped that off a little bit. That was actually really loose. There we go. So that's good. And then we've got to take the capstan mount assembly off. So I can't remember how I used to do these. There was a really quick and easy way to do these to save all the trauma. I might try just lying it on its top. I don't think that's the way I used to do it though. But anyway, I think I might do that because this is actually going to be quite awkward to get the belt round and whatever. So yeah, I'll try that. Well, I've done the old screwdriver, hopefully keeping that up trick. So let's get these undone. Just realised I'm using the better screwdriver to hold that up. Let's use the not so good screwdriver to hold that up. Oh, that was loose. I gave it a bit welly so it wouldn't it would come out nice and true, and didn't need to. Okay. Yeah, this belt feels very tired. The head drum belt feels like it's almost new. It's either almost new or it's got quite a bit of wear on it. It's only worth changing, but it feels good. The belt feels good. So yeah, and we've got the reel drive. Get this belt out. It's interesting, there's no counter belt. i.e. belt that runs a counter. So that one's actually not too bad either, to be fair. So there's two belts that look very similar. The thicker one goes on here. It's just a tiny bit thicker. Oh, I messed that up, probably. Let's just do this properly. Put it around there first. Fighting against myself now. There we go. So busy negotiating the motor, I let go of the belt. That's the easy one done. Actually managed to get a tiny bit of grease on that. This should be alright. And it sounds grating because of course it's upside down, so everything has dropped. That's fine. a special hold to get the belt over the counter, which maybe I don't want to do yet, but I'm going to do. And it goes, because I've just done it the wrong way. Try that again. I'm going to try it the other way round. I don't know why I think that's going to be any better. It's actually quite tricky to do. Oh, I just keep going a little bit too far. Oh. I see what I'm doing wrong now. I haven't quite got a big enough loop. So it's sort of dropping. Well, I'm just not getting it in. That's it. Yeah, so, I mean, you wouldn't have seen me putting it over the, because I just can't get a camera in there, to be fair. But yeah, it's quite a big pulley on the bottom of the counter, and yeah, it's a bit of effort. You've got to sort of almost get the loop of the belt, so it almost fills the aperture that it has to go through, so you can just hook it over. And I wasn't quite doing that, so yeah, that was a bit annoying. And same trick with the cat stand, and this can be a little bit of a fiddle. I mean, I do tend to take the brushes off, but let's see if I can do it without taking the brushes off. Of course, doing it this way, I haven't got gravity on my side. Let's take those brushes out, because they just get in the way. They're just another obstacle. Yeah, I think I can remember how I used to do this. Let's put this back. I'll just put a screw in just so it's not floating about. See if this works. I could just watch the video, you know. I'm sure I've shown it on a video how I used to do it and how I do it now. Or should be doing it now, since I can't remember. So just have to be a bit careful because that top board is floating about. And the plastics are a little bit fragile as well. So no. There we go, so that's on. It's obviously not in the right place, but I don't want to do any more sort of moving about of that now until I can tighten up the screws. So we should be able to now take this off again. So I'm not sort of looking at where that's swinging about to or from. And I'm not going to say anything about this being easier, because as soon as I do that, it will get horribly wrong. Right, that's it. So let's tighten these up. Hopefully my head didn't get in the way of any of that. Probably did. This is so difficult to film. Seems to be running better than the original was. I do wonder if the original was a little bit on the tight side actually. It's certainly not the original tightness of belt then. I have a better way of putting it. So we are done there. Let's put that back on there, little post there. And I need to find a screw just to go in that centre bit. Put the brushes back. Nearly forgot. Oh, it's clever, wasn't it? Right, so that's all done. The counter is also connected for what it's worth. I mean, obviously we can't reset it yet. Might have to see what we can do there. Let's put so I'm going to find another one of these screws because that will fit much better. So yeah, I won't show that, but yeah. Next I think we'll do the dual speed. Let's crack on. So I was thinking, obviously I'm coming to position 8 on the channel selector, and I was thinking of routing the cable from there actually possibly downwards or down round and back up here somehow. Probably put a little cable tie there just to make it a bit neater, and so you can lift this up as well easier. You can lift it right out the way without it fouling the cable, but it's a good opportunity while we're investigating that to have a look at what happened to this board, because it's so distorted. I don't think that's even screwed in. Yeah, so that's totally broken off. So that needs to be glued. And yeah, that looks like the back of a Grundig, and it's got a simple version by the looks of it. Oh, it looks as if it was glued at some point, and it's just come away. But to be fair, I'll probably just stick it that way up with some red tape. But well, I suppose it's quite well done. Oh yeah, I can see it's very, very bent. So this one's pushed back that way a bit. So, and this is also a little bit bent back. God, I didn't do much at all. This is actually a lot more flexible than it looks. Yeah, so that's going to work fine. Let's push that down while it's in there. because it's slightly bent. Oh, I actually have to unclip it now. That's good. That's slightly bent. Just bent a little too far the other way now. Okay, so well, I'm going to try super glue on this. I don't think for a minute it's going to work, but I will give it a go. See what happens. Yeah, so let's crack on. Oh, I'll stick that down as well, so it's a little bit more, not just floating about. I've glued the post back in, and so far it seems pretty solid, to be honest. Very dusty in here. You wouldn't believe I've just wiped that. This type of plastic it is. It's got quite a coarse grain to it, quite a rough grain to it. So yeah, you sort of wipe it over and nothing really shifts, but I might have a bit better go. Just looking at that through the camera, it looks as if it's sort of crooked, but it isn't. It's just the top bit's clean and the bottom bit isn't. Okay, so yeah, this is all straight, so next thing to do is do the dual speed. Let's crack on. Okay, so let's put this board back down. Easier said than done. Oh. Now why I struggle so much to get those boards down. And that is locating fairly well. Fairly well. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the surround off for what it's worth. Don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to, just to really just see if there's any horrors. Because I have a feeling there might be. A very rusty screw, so interesting. And then one everybody likes to forget. Oh, and it looks like somebody has. I don't quite see down there, but somebody's actually ripped the whole front off with the screw in place. So yeah, we'll have a look at that maybe. It doesn't overly matter, but it did feel as if it wasn't very secure somehow. It helps having this sort of properly screwed down. And of course, the tracking control is sort of off its adjustment anyway, so I'd have to lift it up a bit anyway to get to that, and that's probably because that is broken. It's just given this a bit more play to maybe make this jump out, but we'll have a look. Like I say, I want to take this off because I have a feeling there might be one or two nasties under there. Yeah, so everything is fine. It's just literally just out of its where it locks onto that then. Let's just see. I think the problem is with the screw here at the front, there's no head left on it, so I suppose I've had to rip it off, but I'll try and get that out, and yeah, we'll have to try and fabricate something, I suppose, just to get it so it sits properly, so this doesn't jump off here. It's a shame we haven't got the other part to that as well. I might see if I can do something about that, build in something, but I can't see, unless it's sort of fallen down and got jammed down here somewhere, but I don't think so. I might get the torch out and just have a quick look, but yeah, I think that's long since gone. So okay, the bulb also looks a bit, oh no, it's okay, it's just a trick of the light. So the bulb is fine, it just pulls off. So tape servo board, that one. Let's see what this one is like, see if anything's been done to it. No. Oh, now that's interesting. Ah, of course, I've taken this out of the other machine, so I'm going to need the resistor that's been floating about my desk for quite a while, and then I've got the 620k as well to go in. So this is good to go. This is already dual speed. So you can see there that the brown wire that usually goes up there goes to where the resistor went in there, but you can't see that at all. So there's a resistor there, 540k off the top of my head. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'd forgotten to swap the board actually, modules and all. Is that going to go in wholesale, or do I have to put... Yeah, I'm going to have to put the board in separately. There we go. Okay, so that's good to go. I've got my cable, so twin speaker cable. It's a little bit tougher. So yeah, I'm going to run that now and take it from there. Let's crack on. Okay, so all prepped up. So the higher resistance is towards the top, and the lower one from the board is at the bottom as you look from the top of the machine. I think that makes sense. Just need a bit extra solder. That's not the best view again. Really good at getting these shots set up, aren't I? Super, so that should be dual speed on channel 8. So with it deselected, it's normal 1700, and with the button pressed in, it'll be 1500. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to dig out this dodgy screw next. I'm going to see if I can fabricate something for that take counter as well. I'm not holding my breath on that one. It might be something that happens at another time as well. I might not show it on this video, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on. So yeah, let's crack on. I managed to get the screw out. It's a blinking miracle. There's absolutely nothing left of the head. I mean, it's just completely stripped out. It is quite rotten. I'm surprised as how rotten those screws are, but yeah, it's out. I'm gonna give this a good blowout now, and yeah, it's quite grubby. I mean, I just tried to wipe all of this out. It isn't actually, it's sort of well, it's where this is rubbed, but yeah, it's just not cleaning up very well. So yeah, but I'll blow it through, and yeah, then we're going to have to try and find some way of fixing this. So the plastic is very much sort of, because this has been yanked off, plastic has very much sort of disappeared. So whether I put a washer there and a different type of screw, I don't know. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. Let's crack on. Well, I managed to find an oversized screw that actually has done the job. It's perfect. It's nice and tight, and I'm just saying that, yeah, it is nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. Tracking is fine. Yeah, it won't slip off. That's the main thing. I just want to stop this from slipping off. I'm not too worried about this being a little bit floaty and all over the place, but it's actually, I mean, it's fine. It's there. So yeah, I've cleaned up the threads there as well. Just sort of put a bit of lubricant in there, just sort of clean out the rust. and stop these from rusting. So they're done. I've also blown it through. I've used this wolf box. It's bonkers, this thing. So it's just so powerful. So yeah, you can actually feel it push back. It's that strong. So very, very pleased with that, because it saves using aeroduster. And of course, the aeroduster, you have that bit of liquid in the can as well, which invariably will end up going everywhere when you're trying to sort of blow the dust out. So this has actually done a pretty reasonable job. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, it does get a bit warm, but it's great, you know, and it wasn't too expensive either. So yeah, now here, let's just undo this. I did order some plastic rivets, and they turned out to be way too small. I don't know what I did there, but I did find this, and I mean, it's not tight or anything on there, but if I just rest that on there, and then let's just press stop so this can come back, press that in, the screw actually does do a very good job of keeping the panel in place. And you know, there's a bit of movement there, but it does the job. So at the moment, I'm just going to use that. I've got some more on order, which should be here tomorrow, hopefully. So we'll see if they work. But yeah, I'm happy that that's going to keep this in place while we do all the testing and turning it upside down and all the rest of it. I'm still working on what to do with this. My 3D printer, I'm not having great luck with this. In fact, I'm thinking of actually replacing it with something that I know is good. Very disappointed with my 3D printer, to be fair. And just 3D printing a square block, basically, with something sort of nice at this end to press, and just gluing it onto the black that's in there, because that's the reset there. It might just be able to make out where it's broken off. So yeah, that may happen, but if it doesn't, I'll do a post showing it done with something. But I did have a look as well. I've got quite a lot of spare parts, but I just haven't got a 4-digit. I've got a 3-digit, but not a 4. And the 3-digit, I think it will fit, but it'll look wrong. So I think, I don't know, because the actual numbers are bigger on the 3-digit, the actual tumblers. But yeah, I'd rather have the 4 anyway, because it's correct. So yeah, okay. I suppose we can give it a test. Let's crack on. One thing I did forget was this bit of metal, which is not really very happy. So let's take that off. There are actually little washers on the bottom of these screws. And no doubt there'll be a bit of alignment as well. So there it is, and you can probably make out that it is distorted. So I think we worked out that that's basically needs to, when you press play, let's press play. So this blocks you from pressing eject. So, well, that does the job. It's quite maybe as pretty as I'd like, but it does the job. Then I see the adjustment is actually how far you want it to go, or the gap, basically. So I barely want any gap there, but obviously you don't want it too close, otherwise it's going to fail the mechanism. So might be a bit of trial and error with this one, just to get it right. I might have a look in the manual actually, because I think it's the same in the 1500. So yeah, let's screw that in. And that one. Push it down. Yeah, see, that's a bit close for my liking. So I'm going to move that back slightly. I think I have to slacken this off as well. Just a tiny bit. There we go. I reckon that will do the trick. Let's just press stop. Let's put that top back on. I can balance that in there. Yes, I can. So I shouldn't be able to press eject, and I can't. And then if I press stop, I can. Super, that's great. So next thing is to give this a try. Oh, it's got quite worn, isn't it? Let's crack on. Well, I've got some plastic rivets that might actually work, so let's just give this a go. I'll keep using the wrong screwdriver. So just slide that bit off. Let's see what this is like. So it's 5mm. And tighten up the screw. Hopefully it'll be alright. I had mixed reviews on this. On these, because they're plastic after all. Well, that's sort of worked. Yeah, we'll see. I might have to. Yeah. I don't think the legs are quite splaying out enough or far enough up to stop this from moving, but it's there. It'll keep it in place, I guess. But yeah, I suppose we ought to give it a test. Let's crack on. Okay, so here it goes. Plug it all in, so video wise. That's sounding good. And I think we have, yeah, dual speed. So let's try cassette. Well, it's there. Sort of there. Try the tracking. I had a picture and then it disappeared. Oh, I don't know how big this tape is actually. Oh, I seem to remember I had, yeah, problems with this cassette before. The, oh yeah, it's pretty damaged, to be fair. There's a bit of a slight problem that I don't have really good, like a really trusted cassette. N1700. I think this one wasn't too bad. Yeah, so that's rewinding well. Yeah, I think I have a head clog from the other cassette. Oh, I can see a bit of image coming. Right, let's... Spring doesn't seem terribly strong. Am I missing? I don't think I am missing anything. I think it is just literally the spring is not quite as strong as it should be. Yeah, it could certainly do with a clean. Okay, I'll get that done next. Okay, so I was having a problem where with the cassette in and it loaded or laced or out of standby, this wasn't actually stopping it. So it turned out I just needed to grease. Oh, let's just remove this. Just needed a bit of grease on this plastic assembly here, and it actually feels a lot better as well because the whole thing is moving better. So just a bit of grease. Use silicone because it's plastic. It's done the trick really well. So yeah, that's now working. That's good. That's another thing done. So yeah, let's try that original cassette again. First one that I tried. I'm still debating whether I've got servo issues or oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's actually a bad take. Oh, there we go. Let's start capturing.
I can't figure out how the firewood got in the case, huh?
And sound. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of head hunt. To be fair, it's the way it's being captured. I think there is noise. There is noise coming in there, and it's causing the capture to go. Yeah, it's coming up from the bottom. Yeah, so it's dropping frames basically on the capture, but that's it. No, it doesn't look as if the dual speed is working, because that should have sped up quite considerably. It did do it. Okay, well that seems to have stopped working. Dual speed, I might have to investigate that again. Okay, well, I will do a short video just on the dual speed and what the problem is with that. This will need a clean. I also need to sort out this missing resets for the counter. But otherwise, this is a working machine. Possibly some alignment, but like I said, what I'll do is I'll do a second video just on getting the finer points of this working as it should. And like I say, the dual speed and any alignment as well. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it here. Like I say, I'll do a second video just on the tape servo and basically what I've found, any other additional issues with this deck, but it's working. It might not be working well, but it's working. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Lots more to come. I've had to cut this one a bit short anyway because I've got quite an exciting video to make next. So yeah, I'll crack on with that and hopefully see you in another video. Bye for now.